everyone, and welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope everyone's doing well, hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we have a 1500 point battle host game for you, and we are going to be having Cities of Sigmar and Vanguard versus Skaven Pestilens. The Cities of Sigmar army is going to be an interesting one. You'll get to see that in a second. It's got a load of Hydras, and the Skaven Pestilens army is by a newer player on our scene. So definitely any tips or tricks or ideas, thoughts and stuff you can give to the Skaven Pestilens player I'll be playing against in this battle report, please leave them all down in the comments below. All that information will be greatly appreciated by the player who is just learning. This is only his second game, and both those games are now on the channel for you to go watch. But without further ado, let's get into the armies. We'll be playing Total Commitment from the Generals Handbook 2020. Right, so we have Cities of Sigmar, 1500 points. Today's list is rather interesting. We're going to play with all Hydras, well, nearly all Hydras. So we've got the Dreadlord on Black Dragon. He's going to be the only character in the army. He's going to be taking the Venom Fang Blade and also the command trait that gives him dabblings in sorcery. So he's going to be a wizard, and he's going to take Sap Strength. And then we're also going to take as battle line, because we'll be playing Vanguard, 6 different Hydras. For note 2, he's also going to have Jutting Bones as his Drakeblood Curse, and we've got 5 Drakespawn Knights filling in the list, and that's 1500 points of Order Serpentis focused Cities of Sigmar. And today we're playing 1500 points of a Clan Pestilens Skaven. So at the start here, we've got for a battle line, we've got 2 units of 20 Plague Monks, a unit of 40 Plague Monks. We've got a Plague Priest, we've then got a Plague Claw Catapult, 2 Plague Furnaces, and a Vermin Lord Corruptor, I'm pretty sure is that one. And that's going to be 1510 points, just over, but who cares? We're playing for fun. So let's get into deployment, and we'll come back after the armies are set up. Alright, so today we're going to be playing Total Commitment from the Generals Handbook 2020. No reserves are allowed to be used in this game, but neither of us have reserves anyway. The scenario's got some quite cool effects, and we'll go through that properly in the pre-game video. But for now, deployment, I've got 5 of my Hydras lined up in the center here, along with the Black Dragon on the objective here. And then over on the flank, I've got another Hydra and 5 Cold One Knights. Across the table from us, we've got a giant horde of Plague Monks and a couple of Plague Furnaces staring us down in the battle line, and the Vermin Lord Corruptor over on the flank. And they've got the Plague Claw Catapult there behind the lines. We've got the Plague Priest along there with some Plague Monks around the side of the graveyard. Skaven finished deploying first, so they're going to get to pick who has the first turn, and we'll go into that now. So to start with, we're going to have Rabid from this Plague Furnace here, custom to the unit of 40 Plague Monks behind him, needing a 3+ to go off. 1, but we're going to be allowed to re-roll it because that's the general. So can try and re-roll. 4, so it goes off. So those Plague Monks there are going to have +1 attack. And then this Plague Furnace here, that's not the general, is going to go Rabid on the unit of 20 Plague Monks. So go for it. 5 goes off. Cool, so both prayers are off. The Plague Priest, we might as well try it. So this Plague Priest here, he's going to attempt to try and cast a prayer. Now, there's no one in range for his prayer to actually affect. However, we're going to try and roll the 6, because if he gets it on the 6, he's going to create the Great Plague in addition. So might as well go for it. So rolling for the 1. So he's going to instead take a mortal wound himself. We got greedy, and he's going to take a mortal wound, but it's sort of worth it to try and take the get the Great Plague off. So we're going to have the Vermin Lord Corruptor. He's going to try and cast Mystic Shield, and so trying to cast, we need a 6 on 2 dice. 4 does not go off this turn. So that's going to be the end of the Skaven hero phase, and we'll go into movement and come back after all of that is done. So, end of the Skaven movement phase, what have we had happen? We've got the Vermin Lord Corruptor, a big block of 40 Plague Monks with Rabid on them, and the Plague Furnace crawling up through the center on this side of the ruins in the center of the table. And then got the other Plague Furnace and the other Plague Monks on this side of this ruin, and then we've got Plague Monks creeping around the graveyard. We're now going to see if there's anything that can make a charge this turn, and if not, we'll go into Cities of Sigmar turn 1. So completely forgot that Skaven have a shooting phase, so we're going to have the Plague Claw Catapult. It's going to shoot over into this Hydra on top of the Temple of Skulls. So, needs a 3 to hit. Hits, needs a 3 to wound now. Doesn't wound. Cool. Now that's going to be the end of the Skaven turn. There is nothing in range to charge, so it's going to be going into Cities of Sigmar turn 1. So to start with, going to gain a command point for the Cities of Sigmar at the start of the turn, and I also forgot to, at the start of the game, roll for my additional D3 command points thanks to Hidden Agents. So I get an additional 3 command points, so I'm going to start the game on 4. And then I'm also going to gain 1 for this turn. No, already done that one. So I'm going to start on 4. And now let's get into some hero phase, which there is very little of. We've just got him with casting a spell. So, the Dreadlord Black Dragon with his dabblings in sorcery, he's going to try and cast Mystic Shield into himself. So, goes off on a 6, so we can have the Vermalord Corruptor try and dispel now. So, 2 dice, you've got to beat a 6 on those 2 to dispel my spell. 4, nope, doesn't. So, Mystic Shield will go off on the Dreadlord on Black Dragon. We'll have reroll save rolls of 1 this turn. So, this is it for movement. We move the Dreadlord on Black Dragon. He gets to jump over the Hydras because he can fly. The rest of the Hydras just sort of moving up. We're a little bit bottlenecked, but this one here is going to stay back and make sure he keeps the objective. Meanwhile, we've got these other 2 Hydras going over there into that nice little hot gate scenario there. And we've got the other Hydra moving up into those Plague Monks on the far flank. Meanwhile, the Drakespawn Knights will stay and hold the objective. We're now going to go into shooting and see what the Hydras can light on fire. So to start with, we're going to have this Hydra here shoot over into the Plague Monk. So he's got 6 shots with his fiery breath. So 3's to hit, 3 hits, and 3's to wound. 3 wounds, -1, which I believe will just remove 3 Plague Monks because they only have a 6-up save, if I remember correctly. So 3 dead Plague Monks from that Hydra. So we're just going to roll these 2 Hydras together into that unit of Plague Monks. So 3's to hit with 12 attacks between the 2 of them. That's not too bad. And 3's to wound. So that's going to be 3 dead Plague Monks from that unit, from the 2 Hydras. Apparently they're not as good as the other Hydra. Newer model, must be better. And then we'll go into the last Hydra over there. So he's got 6 shots. So he's going to need 3's to hit. 3 hits. And 3's to wound, or rather kill. So he's going to kill 2. So 2 Plague Monks die from the unit over there. And that's going to be the end of shooting for Cities of Sigmar. We're now going to go into charges. So we're going to charge with the dragon first. So let's see what his charge roll is. He gets a nice big 9. So he's going to get into where he wants. We'll resolve his charge after. The next Hydra next to him is going to charge, so wanting a decent roll, 5. We'll have to double check and see if that's in range. So we'll start with rolling this Hydra and see if he gets in, and a 10, so he'll definitely get in. So we'll pop that there, and we'll roll for the other Hydra while we're at it. Gets a 12, so that Hydra's going to have his charge succeed as well. And then we'll roll for the last Hydra over here, and we'll come back with all their charges completed. So he's going to get a 4, which won't see him do, and there's no hero around for him to reroll, so he'll stay there. Back with all the Hydras charging, so we've got these 2 in here. One's into the Plague Furnace and one's into the Plague Monks. And of course we've got the other Hydra and Dreadlord over here. And so we'll start with combat, and I'm going to pick the Dreadlord on Black Dragon first. He's also going to do D3 mortal wounds on impact, and we'll put them into the Vermalord Corruptor from his jutting bones. So D3 mortal wounds for 3 mortal wounds on the Vermalord Corruptor. Protection of the Horned Rat ability, so he's going to ignore these mortal wounds on a 5+. Doesn't ignore any of them, all 4. So he's going to take 3 wounds. So Dreadlord on Black Dragon is going to go first. He's going to put everything into that Vermalord. We do not want that Vermalord alive, so it can die. So we'll start with the Venom Fang Blade. These hit on 4s. So 5 out of 4. 6 is pretty good for 4s. And wound on 4s. We're looking for 6s though to do D3 mortals. So it's going to be 1 lot of D3 mortals, but then 1 armor save as well. So it'll actually be 2 armor saves in addition. So 2 4-up armor saves, no rend on this. So just base armor save, save both of them, and then it's going to be D3 mortals for 1. So a 5-up mortal wound save on that. which you don't, so he takes another wound so far from the dragon. So then we've got the dragon's jaws, so he's got 3 attacks hitting on 4s, all hits, that's good. And then 3s to wound, 2. These will be at -2, so these will be 2 6-up armor saves. These are the big ones you want to save. Save 1, importantly, but it's going to be d6 damage for the one that failed for 2, not that great, and then 5 ups to ignore. Nope, so he's going to take another 2 wounds. And the last profile from the dragon, so 6 claw attacks, 4s to hit. That's not terrible, that's exactly what it should be. And 3s to wound, or wounds. Now, armor saves on these are going to be 5 ups. So save 2 of them, cool. It's 2 damage now though, so 2 more 5 ups for your after damage save. Save both of them. Good job. So now it's going to be your turn to pick someone to fight with. Plague monks have piled in and are going to attack next. We've got 12 of them into here because we've got the photed staves and woe blades. We've got a 2-inch reach. So going into the Hydra first, we've got 36 attacks, 4s to hit. And just reroll that one. Cool, and we'll pull all the dice out. And 4s to wound. Wanting 6s, which we've got 1. Just 1, so it's not the best, but... And now we'll go into armor saves. So, we've got some armor saves to make for the Hydra now. He's got a 4-up save. And he passes only 2 of those. Wow. He's going to take 5 wounds on the Hydra. Ouch. Units here going into the Dreadlord and Black Dragon. So, 4s to hit. And we'll come back with all the pickouts. 4s to wound. Wanting 6s, which we've got another one, so they won't make it. But that one will. And now I've got armor saves to make on the Dreadlord and Black Dragon. He's got Mystic Shield on him, so he's going to be a 3-up rerolling 1s. So only 2s matter. There's no 2s so far, and I get to reroll them. And saved them all. So the Dreadlord is unfazed by your Plague Monks. Then it's going to be my turn to pick someone to attack with. So I'm going to hit with the Hydra that's into the plate furnace next. So we'll bring it over the dice tray. So he's going to be -1 due to the Lookout Cerebral being an effect with Skaven in combat. So he's going to be 5s to hit. Wow, that's 4 out of 6. That's pretty good. And 3s to wound. Just 2. So you're going to have 2 at -1 onto your Plague Furnace to start with. So, 2 armor saves at -1. And 1 or 2 that's going to fail, so it's going to be D3 damage each. And so it's going to be 4 wounds on the Plague Furnace so far. We've then got the Clawed Forelimbs. These are going to hit on 4s, being -1. And then wounding on 3s. Wounds, so another at -1. That one's a fail as well, so now he's copped 5 damage in total, and then the handlers, 4s to hit, 5s to hit, sorry, actually. So 1 hit and 1 wound, no rend on this one though. Saves that one. So you're just going to take 5 damage on the Plague Furnace. Here into this Hydra, so there's going to be 10 of them attacking. They've got 30 attacks, so they're going to hit on 3s because they've got the twin blades, these ones. So 3s to hit, and we'll come back with what we got. And 4s to wound. Looking for 6s though to give that extra little bit of wound. So that's not terrible. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. Cool. It's going to be an extra 5 wounds in there. So Hydra's got his armor save. 4-up armor save needed. So we're going to fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Failed that time. Well, that's at least a better roll than I did with the last Hydra's armor saves. So he takes 6 wounds. So we're going to have this Hydra go into the Plague Furnace next. So he's got 5 attacks because he's taken 5 wounds. So he is now needing 5s to hit though due to Lookout Sir. 2, not terrible. 3s to wound, only 1. So it's going to be 1 armor save, -1 on the Plague Furnace. So fails, it's going to take D3 damage for 3. Ouch. And then we're going to have the Clawed Forelimbs. 4s to hit and 3s to wound. 1, so 1 at -1. Save that. And the handlers needing 5s, nothing. So he's going to take 3 damage for that one. We're going to go with the Plague Furnace next. He's going to swing into the Dreadlord. So on a 2+, we're going to take D3 plus 4 mortal wounds. Please roll a 1. No. So now roll a D3 for 1. So we're going to take 5 mortal wounds to start with on the Dreadlord. Ouch. So we're going with the Warpstone Tip Staff next. Needs a 4 to hit. Misses. Cool. And then what have we got next? We got how many attacks? Got 6 attacks from the Devoted Blades. There's 6, and they are needing 4s to hit. 3 hits. 4s to wound. 2. And so I've got my normal armor save, so my 3-up rerolling ones. Save both of them. And then we've got the Rusty Spikes that's going to have D6 attacks for them. So see how many attacks we get first. For 3. And then it's going to hit on 2s. All hit. And wound on 3s. All wound. That's going to be -1, so I'm going to have a 4-up rerolling ones now. Failed that, but you get to reroll this one. Fail it again, so it's going to be another 2 damage, so he's going to have taken 7 wounds from the Plague Furnace. So we're going to go this Hydra here now into the Plague Monk, so it's got 4 attacks, needing 4s. I only hit once, oh dear. Winning on 3s, wounds, it's going to go straight through your armor, so it's going to kill D3. 3 Plague Monks die so far from him. And then his clawed forelimbs, 3s to hit, both hit. And 3s to wound to kill. So another 2. So he's killed another 2. There's going to be 5 dead so far. And then the handlers, 4s to hit. 1 hit. 4 to wound. No wound. So going to kill 5 Plague Monks. So we're activating the other Plague Furnace into this old Hydra here. So on a 2-up, it's going to do D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. Does so. Roll your D3 and see how many you get. 1, so it's going to do 4 mortal wounds so far to the Hydra there. And then we'll go into his first attack. So you got the Warpstone Tip Staff from your Plague Priest. 4 to hit. Hits. And needs a 3 to wound. Doesn't wound. And then you've got 6 attacks from the Devoted Blades. 6 dice there for you. So these need 4s to hit. All bar 1, that's pretty good. And then 4s to wound. And I've got some armor saves to make now. So the Hydra is going to need a 4-up armor save. Failed 1, so it's going to take another wound. And then lastly, you're going to have D6 attacks from your Rusty Spikes. 2. They are going to hit on 3s. Both hit. And wound on 3s as well. 2, so -1, so I've got a 5-up arm save, which I failed both, so I'm going to take another 3 wounds in total, putting the Hydra down 7. Vermlord Corruptor is going to go into the Dreadlord on Black Dragon. He has 8 attacks because he's taken 6 wounds, so go for it. 3s to hit. Looking for 6s, so it's 2 mortal wounds, and they come out the pool now. We'll keep them there. And those 3 miss, so roll them again though for 3s. And 1. So we're going to then armor save 3-up rerolling 1s, or does he have any rend? No. So 3-up saved. But I am going to take 2 mortal wounds. Now we've got some end of combat phase stuff to work out. So the Vermlord Corruptor on a 4+ does a D3 mortal wounds to enemy units within an inch. So on a 4+, D3 mortal wounds to the Dreadlord. Nope, so no mortal wounds to him. And then the Plague Furnace here will do a mortal wound on a roll of a 4+, but on 6s D3. So first of all, roll for the Dreadlord, nothing, and then for the Hydra, 6. So it's actually going to be D3 mortal wounds on the Hydra, so D3 for 2 mortal wounds on the Hydra here. And then this Hydra over here will have to get rolled for that Plague Furnace, so go for it, 4+, looking for 6s, no, nothing on that one. And that'll be the end of the combat phase. We might have a couple of battle shocks to work out. I don't actually think so because we've got the Plague Furnaces near the Plague Monks though. So we're going into priority now. I've got 5 You got a 6, that means you're going to get to pick. Do you want the next turn, or do you want me to go next?
No, I'll go next.
Cool. Skaven are going next. Verminlord's first spell, he's going to cast Arcane Bolt, so 2 dice, trying to roll 5+. Wanting a 10 or higher though, that's an 8, so it's just going to be 1 mortal wound onto the Dreadlord. Then he's going to try the Plague spell, so go for it. Casts, and so now on a 4+, you're going to do a mortal wound to the Dreadlord as well. And another mortal wound on the Dreadlord on Black Dragon, so he's now taken 11 wounds in total. Ouch. So, Plague Furnace here is now cast Rabid Rabbit, rolled a 6 on its prayer, so now we're going to pick one of the Great Plagues to use. So, we're going to select to use the Bubonic Blight Plague, which means the closest model is the Dreadlord on Black Dragon. He's going to take D6 mortal wounds. 3, that's going to kill him. Dreadlord is going to fall. But it does mean we get to pick another unit, so we're going to try and also do some mortal wounds to the Hydra. So D3 mortal wounds to the Hydra for 3, ouch. And that's not going to slay the Hydra, but it's going to put him very close to death. So we'll come back and poor Dreadlord is dead. The Plague Furnace is also going to put Rabid Rabbit onto the Plague Monks. Goes off. So that's it for that one. And our last Plague Priest over on the far side. So we're going to try and cast the Plague Pestilens from the Plague Priest over in the far corner. It's going to hit the Hydra only, really. So 3+. Goes off, so it's going to be D3 mortal wounds to the Hydra, so might as well roll them. D3, so just 1 dice. And halve it, so that'll be 3 mortal wounds to that Hydra over there on the far side. So he's got the Libri Bubonicus, which means he can use the Plague Priest War Scroll Press, so he's going to do Pestilens as well, trying to target the Hydra here. So goes off. It's going to be D3 mortal wounds. 2. I'm pretty sure that'll kill the Hydra. And so yes, unfortunately, that'll kill this Hydra as well, freeing up that big blob of Skaven there. This is not looking good. So, end of the movement phase, this is what it looks like. We've had the Plague Monks and Plague Furnace move up. Unfortunately, the Verminlord's now stuck behind them, but they're going to charge into some more Hydras potentially. Over here, couldn't move, all in combat, and the other Plague Monks and Plague Priests on the far side are going towards the other Hydra there. So we're now going to go into some shooting with the Plague Furnace at the back. So the Plague Furnace is going to target this Hydra here, the very, very old model. So 3 to hit, hits, 3 to wound. Wound, so it's going to be -2, so I got a 6-up save, and I save it. Awesome. That could have been bad, because you could have killed a Hydra, and we're a bit light on Hydras at the moment. So now we're going to go into the charge phase. Charges here. We'll start with the Plague Furnace. He needs a 6, so go for it. That's an 8, so he's going to get in. And we'll resolve him now because he does some impact hits. My mistake, doesn't do impact hits, he just gets more attacks with his Rusty Spikes when you charge. Been playing against Daughters of Cain too much. So now we're going to charge with the Plague Monks, so needing a 6 as well. So they just got it, so now we'll move them in. You do have a command point, so we can try and reroll it if you want a better charge, but you could potentially fail as well. So, no, happy with the 6, cool. We'll move them in. And lastly, we've just got this charge here from these Plague Monks. Anything but a double 1. 5. Cool, so they'll just get to charge now. And for note, that's how that charge there turned out from the Plague Monks as well. In as well, so anything decent. A 6, you know, it pretty much doesn't even matter at that point. So 10, so yeah, he's just going to go whop, bam. Because, you know, it's worth charging the Skaven characters in because they're -1 to hit, and if I choose to target him, I'm not killing Plague Monks. So, we'll go into combat. Cool, so the Plague Furnace is going to attack first. It's going to put all its attacks into this Hydra here. So, first of all, a 2+ is needed to do D3 plus 4 mortal wounds, which you do. So now roll to see the D3. So it's going to do 6 mortal wounds to start with. So there we go, 6, that's the start. And then we're going to have 2d6 attack. Oh, we'll go with Sphoted Star first. We'll go through. So 4 to hit, misses. And then you've got 6 attacks next from your the blades. So these are 4s to hit. not bad. And force to wound. I got one save to make, so I've got a 4-up arm save with the Hydra, which he fails, so he's going to take another wound, putting him on 7. And then you've got 2d6 attacks because you charged from the rusty spikes at the front, so it's going to be 7 attacks. 5, 6, 7, and these are going to hit on 2s. And wound on 3s. And I've got 5-up arm save, +1, so take another 2. So he's going to be down. He's taken 9 wounds. He's got 3 left. I'm going to get to pick who fights next, though. So we're going to go this old Hydra here into the Plague Furnace. So 4 attacks, hitting on 5s. Come on. 1, wounding on 3s, doesn't wound, ouch. And then Clawed Forelimbs, hitting on 4s, 1, wounding on 3s, nothing. And the Handlers, hitting on 5s, hits once, and a wound on 4, 1 wound on your Plague Furnace, no range. So 1 armor save to make, and you make it. And that's it, your turn to pick something to strike with next. These Plague Monks here are then going to go into the Hydra, so they're needing 3s to hit. Reroll that one, and we'll come back. Of course, we roll it right back onto the down. Roll. There we go. It is what it is. We'll come back with all the picks. And 4s to wound. We're looking for 6s though, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 6s, and we'll pick out the rest that missed. Or failed to wound, rather. A few armor saves to make. If I fail 6, the Hydra's going to drop, though. So 4-up armor save. And that looks like 6 fails straight away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, he would have killed me even if I was at full health. So that Hydra there is dead. That's what you get for being a fine cast model. So we're going to go with this Hydra now into the Plague Monks. So he's got 6 attacks. He's hitting on 4s and wounding on 3s. 2. So these go straight through. So we're going to kill D3 or 2D3. So we're going to kill 3 Plague Monks so far. And 3s and 3s. Another one dies. So that's 4 so far. And the Handlers, 4s and 4s. 1, but you'll get a 6-up armor save on that one. He saves it. So 4 Plague Monks die. It's certainly turning out to be Skaven Pestilens day this time. You know, these Plague Monks into this Hydra. So we're needing 3s to hit. Ouch, that looks like a really good roll. We'll come back with all the picks. And 4s to wound. Looking for 6s though, for those extra. And there's a lot of 6s there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's not a lot of failed wounds, to be honest. So we got 5, so we almost put in all the dice that failed to wound back in. It's going to be a lot of armor saves to make. So, Hydra here has taken 3 wounds, so if I fail 9, he drops as well. Could this be bad? What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just. He dies just. Another Hydra drops. Of course, it's another Firecast one. Only the metal one survives. I've got one last Hydra left to attack. It's going to go in the Plague Furnace, so 5s to hit because -1 hits once. And 3 to wound, doesn't wound. Oh dear God. 3s to hit, or 4s to hit, sorry. And 3s to wound, -1 on your Plague Furnace. Failed, so your Plague Furnace is going to take a wound. And the Handlers, 4s, or 5s actually, so they both miss. And then it's going to be your turn to attack with what you've got. Next is both Plague Monks and a Plague Furnace left. We're going to go with that Furnace there left. And so 2 up to start with. Roll and see if we can do them just 1 dice.
Yep.
Roll a 2+, which you don't. So it doesn't do the mortal wounds this turn. Cool. I'm good with that. So Warpstone Tipstaff 4 and 3. So hits and a 3 to wound. Wounds, there's going to be -1 on the Hydra, so 5 up, fails. There's going to be D3 damage, so for 1 wound on the Hydra. He's got 4 wounds left. So then he's got 6 attacks. And so 6. And so these are 4s and 4s. And so just 2 hits. And 4s to wound. Nothing from the playbook. And D6 attacks from your rusty spikes. 5. Hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. That one. And then wounding on 3s with those. It's enough there. You've got, if they all get through, they all do. So -1, I need to save at least 1 of these for the Hydra to survive. Oh, I do. I save 3, so I take a wound. So he is up to 9. Ouch. And then we've got the Plague Monks over here to attack next. We've got 3 Plague Monks into this Hydra here. So they've charged. They've got Rabid, so they've got 4 attacks each. 4s to hit with these ones though. And that miss. And then 4s to wound. And so they're going to fail. But we're also going to put 1 more back into the pool thanks to that 6 there. So I've now got a 4-up save, which I failed for, so he's going to be put onto 10 wounds. Ouch. And however, then we've got 10, so it's going to be 40 attacks into the other Hydra. So 40 attacks, so 4s to hit. That's a pretty good roll. We'll come back with all the hits and the wounds. And 4s to wound, wanting 6s though to give the extra wound. So there's quite a few 6s there. I think there's another 5 again. Then I've got a lot of armor saves to make. So 4 up. I think he's alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He takes 9 damage. So he's only got 3 wounds left, that Hydra. But that is going to be the end of combat, and I don't take battle shock because I've only got an army full of monsters. So we're going to go into Cities of Sigmar, turn 2. I'm going to score another 2 victory points for Skaven, putting Skaven up at the end of turn 2, and they've gone first, 4-2. So, forgot first, we've got to use the smog, so we're going to roll a dice for, we'll go for this Hydra here. On a 4+ it takes a mortal, on 6 it's D3, so he just takes a mortal, so he's going to be put to 11. He's got 1 wound left. And this one on 9 takes a mortal wound as well, so he's going to go up to 10. And he's going to put another wound on him, so he's going to be on 11. We're then going to roll for that one over there. So that one's taken, it's just taken 2. It's going to take D3, so for 2, awesome. So he's going to be on 1 wound left as well. Cities of Sigmar, well, we don't have many other options, so let's just go into movement because we don't have a hero phase anymore, so we'll come back after all the movement is done. We forgot that we got to heal the Hydra, so he's going to heal D3 wounds for 3, so he's going to go back to 8. And he's going to heal D3 wounds, then he goes back to 9. And he's going to heal D3 wounds, which puts him back to 8. Cool. It's going to give us a few extra shots with our fiery breath. So these 2 Hydras here are both going to shoot into the Plague Monk. So 3s to hit, 1 miss, and 3s to kill is -1. So 1 Plague Monk dies. Ugh. Not been my day. The other Hydra over there is going to shoot into the Plague Monks over there. So 3s to hit, hits once. And 3 to kill, doesn't kill anything. So those Plague Monks are apparently wearing fire retardant clothing. And so now we're going to go into charges because we've already done our movement as well. So charge time. So we're going to charge with the Drakespawn Knights into these Plague Monks. So let's see, we've got an 8. They're going to get in quite easily. And we'll come back with their charge. So straight into combat, this Hydra is going to attack the Plague Monks there. So 3 attacks now, hitting on 4s, 1 hit, wounding on 3s, nothing. Oh dear. His clawed forelimbs both miss as well, and the handlers, well, they both hit at least, and 1 wound. So 1 6-up armor save on a Plague Monk. And so 1 Plague Monk dies. If you save that, I was going to be so mad. So, the Plague Sense is going to attack, and he's going to split his attack. So we'll go with, that's going to go into the most heavily damaged, because you can't fail, because you've got D3 plus 3. So he's got the most wounds left, so you're going to put it into there, because that will kill him if it hits regardless of what you roll on the D3. It'll do 4 at minimum, which will kill him. And then all your other attacks are going to go into the one with 3 wounds left rather than 4. So, to start with, a 2-up, and it just removes him. He's dead, because it doesn't matter what you roll on that D3, it's D3 plus 3. So that's 4. So unfortunately, that Hydra drops. Now we've got the rest of our attacks as we destroy all the terrain on the battlefield in Rage. So, Warpstone Tip Staff. 4 to hit. Hits. 3 to wound. Wounds, so -1, so I've got a 5-up. Failed. It's going to be D3 damage for 1, so he takes a wound, so he's on 10. He's got 2 wounds left. And so we've got 6 attacks from the Photed Blades. And so they're hitting on 4s, 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1, so I've got a 4-up save against this, which I fail. So he's got 1 wound left, so you've got D6 attacks with your Rusty Spikes for 3. Hits on 3s now because you've taken 4, not 3 wounds. But all hit anyway. Wound on 3s. 2. I've got to pass both of these on a 5-up, otherwise I die. Oh, I do! He survives on 1 wound, but he's totally getting murdered by Plague Monks in a sec. So he's gonna, do I go with him? No, we're gonna go with the Knights next. He's not gonna do enough damage. We'll go with the Knights, and we'll see what they can do. So we're going with the Drakespawn Knights. So these are from the Riders, 6 attacks, 1 each, and then 1 extra from the Sergeant. So they're hitting on 3s. 1 miss. Wounding on 4s. It's going to be 3, so it's going to be 6 dead Plague Monks to start with, because they're going to be damaged 2 because they charged this turn. And then we've got 10 attacks coming out of the Drakespawn underneath them. So these hit on, whoop, as we drop all our dice in there. These hit on 3, sorry, for the Drakespawn. And then they wound on 4s. So they're going to be 3 6-up armor saves. Going to be 6 plus however many you fail die. 8 Plague Monks go down from the Cold One Knights, Drakespawn Knights, whatever you want to call them nowadays. We're going to have those Plague Monks there attacking into the Hydra. So 36 attacks, 4 to hit, and reroll that one. It hits. We'll come back with all the wounds. And 4s to wound, looking for those 6s though. And that's a pretty decent roll. That missed. Then, but you're going to add, what, 1, 2, 3 back into the pool. And I have to pass every single one of these saves now. Alright, so I have 16 saves to make in this Hydra. I've got to pass every single one, and we didn't. He's dead. That Hydra bites the dust. That Hydra there's attacked, and the Drakespawn attacked, which means it's just Skaven attacks left. So let's go with your Plague Furnace, because he realistically should do the number with all his attacks on the other Hydra. So on a 2-up, we'll see whether it just kills him outright. No, rolls a 1, so now we've got to roll dice and actually do this the proper way. Staff from the Plague Priest, 4 to hit. Nope. We then got, 6 attacks from the Monk's crew, so 4s to hit. And so that'll be that, and 4s to wound. 2. And so past 1, so I've got 3 wounds left, so Rusty Spikes, D6 attacks. 2, 3s. 1 and 3s to wound. Wounds, and so I've got a 5-up save against this, which I save, so I've got 3 wounds left, so it's going to be down to the Plague Monks. we've got 33 attacks into the Hydra. We've got 2 wounds to do, so 3s to hit. That's not looking good just by a first glance. 4s to wound, looking for 6s though. There's a few 6s in there. There's quite a lot of not wounds. I've got 2 wounds left, so we'll see how this goes. So how many are we adding in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back in though. There's going to be a lot of dice needing to roll to try and live. Ouch. So 4 up, and we're dead. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. I didn't die by much, to be honest, but that's the last Hydra off the table. Sad. And now we've got these Plague Monks retaliating against the last remaining Order Serpentis units, the Drakespawn Knights. So, we've now got their attacks. There's 30 attacks coming at me, so 3s to hit. And so, that's alright. And 4s to wound. Looking for those 6s though. What we got? Oh, that's not particularly the greatest. All of that there missed. And 2 get added back in. So these are my armor saves, so I've got a 3-up armor save. So I'm going to lose 1.5 Drakespawn Knights. That's it. That's the Hornblower, so not him. Remove this guy. So I still do get 2 victory points, so this will be 4v4 at the end of turn 2. Go into priority though. If Skaven win this, it's all over. I got a 3. I got a 1. Cool. I'm going next. I'm going to do my next combat phase and make it so we have to draw this out a little bit longer. So straight into combat. 5 attacks with the Drakespawn Knights, hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. So 3 were. So yeah, we did lose 3 to begin with, and now we're going to go into the Drakespawn's attacks. So they're hitting on 4s and wounding on 3s. So you got 3 6-up armor saves to make. Pass 1, so it's going to be 5 dead Plague Monks to start with, and then they're going to attack back. And then the Plague Monks will strike back. I've got 10 attacks now, so 3s, because they're the dragons. So, and then 4s to wound. Wow, only 1. You're going to struggle against these knights. These might survive. And you're going to actually put an extra wound in the pile. So I've got a 3-up armor save. Fail 1, so there's going to be another knight that drops. So we'll remove him now. And that will be going to Skaven turn 3. So we're just going to do the prayers that matter. So he's going to cast his Pestilens on him. On a 3, it goes off. It goes off on a 6, so we're going to get a second Great Plague. So we'll resolve the D3 mortal wounds to start with. So D3 mortal wounds for 2, so it's going to kill another 1 of them. And then we'll resolve a Great Plague against the last 2 remaining models. So we're going to do the Great Plague Unlearned Scourge. At this point, it's really the only one worth doing. So he gets to roll 5 dice for each model in my unit. And on a 5-up, that's a mortal wound. So 2 dice. That's another 1 dead. That's 2 mortal wounds. So that kills and leaves the Sergeant alive. There is 1 dude alive. And now we're going to go into shooting. And we're going to shoot a catapult at him. So we'll go the catapult. Hits. Doesn't wound. So he survives, and now we're going to go into charges in combat. So we're going to go for a couple of charges. We'll try with these Plague Monks here. They have had Rabid cast on them, so 2 dice. They likely will get in with a 9. Yep, they'll make that charge. We'll resolve that after, but we'll also do the Plague Priest here, trying to charge anything but a double 1. And he's in as well. 1 last cold 1 knight to stand against the tide of rats. Here that charge, there's 4 of them that make it in range, so they're going to have 12 attacks. Trying to kill that last Drakespawn knight on the battlefield. So they're hitting on 3s. It's not bad. And, yeah. And then wounding on 4s. Oh dear, that's pretty good. We'll leave that 1 in there because he'll stay due to your 6. 3 ups. I've got to pass everything. I failed 2 though, and he dies. And that is the Cities of Sigmar wiped off the table. Skaven are then going to go on and score well, they're going to score 3 points this turn. I'll come back and we'll see how many points they actually score in total. So the score of the game is going to be like 23 or something like that to 5. It's quite convincingly in Skaven's favour. Good game, mate. That was a ton of fun and definitely a much better encounter than you had last time with your Skaven. So we'll wrap up. Well, I hope you enjoyed the battle report. That certainly was a ton of fun to finally run all those Hydras out there. But let's not forget to leave all your comments and thoughts and ideas down below in the comment section for the new player who's got his Skaven Pestilens army that he's just building up. So please leave some love down there for him and give him some insight and some information into how to go further with that faction. A special shout out to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. A special shout out to our Vanguard Militia, Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Cow Spawn, Soren and Kenny Lowe, and our Free Good Regiment members James and AJC. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel and allowing us to keep on doing what we do here at Cinderful Gaming. Lastly though, you can also come chat with me and other members of our community on our Discord server, which you'll find in the link description down below, along with links to Patreon and Twitch as well, which you can go follow as well. And lastly everyone, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. I'll see you all again real soon.